Okay, hello everyone who is watching our YouTube live stream today or the recording of this week's growth call. Like the last time, we posted the live stream URL and the Google Hangout invite link, so you can join the conversation either way. If you do watch the live stream on YouTube, feel free to post any remarks or say hello in the chat next to the video. I think it's this time right on the left. And I'll monitor the chat more closely this time. So it's a big promise. I'm Christoph, and I'm your host today. Thanks as always to Chris Sacher for writing down the meeting minutes after the meeting. And thanks, Felix, for joining us on today's growth call in the Hangout. And welcome all the other viewers on YouTube who joined recently. Maybe just quickly, as it came up on last week's growth call, for everyone who is joining us for the first time, Bisq is the only real decentralized fiat cryptocurrency exchange out there. So you can exchange fiat currencies like US dollars with Bitcoins, or you can even exchange cryptocurrencies with other cryptocurrencies. So our growth calls like this one today are about exchanging learnings on how to grow the Bisq network and the Bisq user base. We did decide last year in December to focus our efforts over the next 2 months to grow especially the liquidity on the Bisq network, which means to increase the buy and sell offers. So on last week's growth call, we talked a lot about Bisq Bounties and Bisq tokens. So with a couple of questions from you guys about the Bisq token and the Bisq DAO. I do not want to talk too much about that Bisq DAO because we'll have a video on our channel soon from a conference where Chris Beams participated. So I might post the link to the white paper again in the description below. And of course, I will relink the video from Chris as soon as it's live. But still, I want to give you a quick intro on the Bisq token so you know what's all about. Everyone who is contributing to the Bisq network is able to get compensated by Bisq tokens every end of each month. And the Bisq token has different utilities. So you can use it on the one hand side to vote within the Bisq DAO. You can transfer the token to someone else, so you can sell it or buy it. And you can pay the trading fees on the Bisq platform with it. Although the Bisq DAO is still in development and it might be released sometime in the next couple of months, but you can already earn the Bisq tokens now on testnet by taking one of the Bisq bounties we have out there. So after the launch of the DAO in the production Bitcoin blockchain, you will have your tokens there as well, and you can use them in any way. So I hope I didn't say anything completely wrong, but that's basically what the Bisq tokens are about. Regarding the Bisq bounties are just tasks that support the Bisq network, and anyone can take them. So we do have different kind of bounties out there. They're not only developer-related bounties. There are also bounties, for example, for doing the first trade on a specific market, or to create video tutorials on a Bisq trade. We have one for US dollars on this channel already, and since a couple of days, thanks Felix for organizing it, we also have a video tutorial for Indian rupees. So all Bisq bounties can be found on GitHub, and we also try to push them out into the wild on as many channels as possible. So additionally, I post all the links of the available bounties, especially the ones that are for not developers, just below the video after the call. So there was quite a long introduction before today's agenda. So based on the discussions we had on Slack and also on the GitHub issue of the meeting, we are following agenda today. First, today will be all about our US dollar liquidity week. So we want to set the dates when we want to run it. Second, we want to set the rewards for participation. So everyone who will take part on the liquidity week will get compensated with Bisq tokens if you fulfill the reward criteria. So we also will talk about the criteria for that. And I guess the point that will be the most important one, how we are going to promote the liquidity week to, on the one hand side, get people on board to take part, and also to make it publicly available so as many people as possible start trading on Bisq. So let me check. I think that's actually regarding the agenda. Then let's get into the first topic, or maybe just a quick hi to everyone who is on the live stream at the moment. What do we mean with liquidity week? So maybe you don't know what we're talking about. It's about providing buy and sell offers for a certain market to make it easier for new traders who just start up Bisq to complete the first trade. As they don't have to create a new offer, they just take the offer, which is really, really easy and really quick. We did this already for Euro, and now we want to do this for US dollars. Felix, regarding the date you posted, that we might do it from 12th to 18th of February. Do you have specific reason for that, or just that we have a date?
The only reason why I didn't say let's start next Monday is because you need a bit of lead time to ask the participants. First of all, we might want to include some new payment methods before that, and we will need a bit of time for that. Secondly, I would really like to have the USD tutorial video done before that, so that we can use it to help introduce people to how to click. You know, since we're going to make the effort to have enough liquidity available, we want people to be able to just download Bisq and follow the tutorial instructions and just click, accepting order, taking offer, and do the first trade. But you know, we won't have time for everything, but I think whatever we can do by the 12th, yeah, I think we can at least have some kind of tutorial. And maybe if we can contact a few traders, they might have to install Seller or some more convenient payment method for the US. And yeah, so I didn't want to do it immediately to give us a bit of time for that. We might, I mean, we might do better if we waited even longer, maybe last week of February. I don't know. Since Manfred is here, maybe he can tell us how long it takes to include a new payment method if we wanted to do that.
Yeah, Manfred?
Yeah, hello, hi. I think it would be very good if we manage to get especially two things. So one thing is that we have limited to the member banks, which are just 7 banks, because we had in the past a lot of troubles between different banks, and Cell didn't communicate this well between which bank it was really working. So we took a more strict approach, because we had a lot of disputes that people started a trade but then couldn't send the money and so on. But that was a year ago, more or less, these troubles. And hopefully in the meantime, Cell have improved, and there are much more banks which are supported now. But I would not trust the information what Cell gives, because from my experience, that was terrible bad information. They're doing just marketing. And yeah, we would need some reliable research, which banks are really working reliable for Cell, so that it can be easily that at the moment, nearly all big banks are already supported or so. But it would need some requirement, because when we would open it again, we might run into the same trouble to get a lot of disputes between users who cannot use Cell at the end. And the second would be to find other alternative payment methods. I think Square is a good candidate, but I think there have been also some other suggestions. And that basically always require the most important thing is always to check the chargeback risk. We only support payment methods which have very low chargeback risk. And the second thing is if the payment methods require anything special, anything different, like for instance, cash deposit, the users have to make a photo of the receipt and then send it by email to the other. That requires a little bit more effort in the UI to support all this. But if it's a normal payment method, I expect Square would be similar, like OKPay or something, or like Zelle as well. Then it's actually not really much effort for me. When I do it myself, it's maybe 2 hours or something like this. The most effort would be the research to find out which mandatory data fields are required, like the name, the bank account, whatever. And yeah, and to find out, to understand really how the payment method works, and to be sure when we're launching it that the users can really use it and there are no problems.
Manfred, would you consider in the future, so not for US dollar liquidity week, but for a future experiment, would you consider in the future enabling chargeback potential payment methods like, say, PayPal or Google Wallet, or or Facebook Messenger payments, or something that can be very, very widespread but has risk? Do you think it's worth at least testing? Because maybe we find out that with a big enough security deposit, escrow, you can prevent those risks.
I'm not very sure. I mean, of course, we could try it out. I mean, one reason why I never went in that direction was also when I checked in local Bitcoins the payment methods. And when you look at PayPal, you see it very on one side. So it's very asymmetric because yeah, it's a big risk on the Bitcoin seller. And it's actually also not so many trades. So most people who are familiar with Bitcoin, they don't take this risk because they know it's really dangerous. And probably it's more for new users who don't have a clue, who get then victim of scammers. And I think it can create quite a lot of bad it will hurt our brand that we have then chargeback. I mean, luckily we had only one chargeback in our whole history, and hopefully it stays with this. But when we would add PayPal, we might have chargeback every week or every month, or professional scammers would really go then to Bisq and use it. And so I'm not very, I would first, I see so many other options what we have not done because of lack of resources, basically, like adding more payment methods. Like a very interesting and very important thing would be to find payment methods which are not using banks, like cash in person or by mail or whatever. But I mean, there are some discussion threads going on, but it's a very difficult topic. I don't want to disturb too much with this, but I would put the effort more in this direction to find other payment methods, maybe in countries where, like in Russia, I think they have special payment methods like, how it's called, web money.
Yeah.
And, sorry, what was the second?
Yandex, web money.
Yeah. Sorry. And I would be very conservative to, I mean, some people said, yeah, I don't care, I get the warning, but at the end, people are not reading the warnings and people get burned. And at the end, even if it's their mistake, they will blame Bisq that it was insecure and that it gets scammed over Bisq and it hurts the brand. So I would not do it too early, at least.
How about trying, I mean, now that Bitcoin fees are low, how about trying some payment method which could be possible for micropayments? Because another problem I see for liquidity is that people won't try a first trade because the first trade has to be large, and because they can't try with $10, they're not going to risk it with a tenth of a Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, one thing what I changed a few versions ago is the verification of the minimum trade fee. So we can reduce it at some point. I don't still want to do it too early because there can be old offers, or I have to check how many old offers are out, because it would then fail, and yeah, it would lead to a failed trade where you lose your taker fee. But after maybe in the next release or in the release afterwards, we could probably add then, or we could decrease the minimum fee. So for small trades, the trading fee will become much lower, because at the moment when you trade something like $10, I think then the trading fee is something like 2% or more, 10% or something. I think the minimum trading fee is around $2 or something like this, and that should be reduced. That it's for such test trades easier. The other problem is, of course, the transaction fee, and that's usually much more.
I mean, ideally, we'll have payment channels and Lightning Network, and we'll be able to do micro transactions. And but anyway, that's off in the future. There's a bounty out for that, by the way. There's a bounty out for a proposal to integrate Lightning Network into Bisq.
Yeah, that's unfortunately a big project that will take for sure half a year or a year to develop. It's basically probably a completely new trading protocol with this, but would be very interesting, and we have to go in this direction for sure. But that's nothing realistically short term.
Yeah. So for
Sorry, may I add something?
Yeah.
I think the easiest way, and some people are doing this, is to use Litecoin as the base currency for those who just want to try it out, or in countries where, like in India or so, where people are trading probably quite small amounts, then the Bitcoin fees become just too expensive for on-chain transactions. And on the other base currencies like Litecoin or Dash, on Dash, unfortunately, there's basically no activity, but on Litecoin, it was getting a little bit more active the last months. And yeah, maybe we can, it's a little bit harder now because people usually don't have this base currency and they want to trade basically Bitcoin, but I don't see much other opportunities at the moment.
Yeah, someone just mentioned in the Sorry,
go ahead. Sorry.
Someone just mentioned in the chat Apple Cash. I think he's talking about Apple Pay. Is this something that it's used a lot in the US, or in Europe it's not? But
Apple Pay runs on top of credit card networks. You upload your credit card, so it has the same chargeback risks as credit and debit card payments. I mean, you can upload a debit card to Facebook Messenger payments, but we run into the same problems again. You can always say it's fraud, and there's 180 days to stop it. It's the same thing as PayPal.
Yeah. Okay. And for Zelle, so we do need someone who lives in the US and has either experience with Zelle payments on different banks, or there might be some resource to find, so how to find this out, basically.
I think the best would be to really contact Zelle and try to really get a person who knows the thing, as not just the next customer care agent who say yes to everything, and really get out this information, because otherwise, I mean, from the users, you need a lot of different bank accounts in different combinations. It can work that your bank is working with bank A, but not working with bank B. And basically, we only can support those banks which are working with all the other banks. This group where any bank is matching with the other, even with the member bank, it's not perfect. There are sometimes cases where even then it's not working, but very rarely.
Yeah, but
before it was.
But I am now seeing several seller trades with US dollars for Bitcoin on Bisq every day. So someone's using it. So. And it's working, so we would please come to the Slack channel or to GitHub and give us your feedback. It'd be really useful.
Yeah, I mean, these 7 member banks, what we are supporting, those are quite big banks. So probably we cover maybe 50% of the Zelle users, but would be good to reach out to more. And how to investigate this, it's, I think, a little bit difficult. I don't have a better idea, like to contact Zelle directly and try to get really reliable information, not just bullshit marketing, blah, blah. And so far, nobody has done this. On the webpage, I think there's on the webpage, I think they don't have reliable information. They say also something like you can start instantly, and that's not true. You have to register. It takes a week, and we had such troubles in the past as well.
Yeah, I think that the US dollar market on Bisq is almost, it just needs a tiny little push to be really, really useful, because we are having trades every day, and there's normally half a dozen orders on the order book. So we just need a few people to try it at the same time and see how it works. I Are you guys okay? I mean, unless anybody else has any suggestion, is the date fine for US dollar liquidity week?
Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking about is if it's better to start on a weekend or during the week. I don't know, just from having your laptop with you, because I don't know if the people are allowed to install Bisq on their working machines in the office, just to have offers available all the time. That's the only thing what I'm not sure if it makes sense to start on a weekend or during weekdays. But
As long as it lasts a full week from Monday to Sunday, I guess whoever can participate, whoever can have a laptop next to them at the office, or
yeah.
whoever can leave a. I don't know. I think.
Okay, then let's stick to 12th of February. If something comes in between, sorry, yeah, Manfred?
Yeah. I would maybe keep it a little bit open for the pay. I think it would be good to have more payment methods, and we could market it then better that we say now the next version has 2 new or we have expanded the Cell customer base, and then maybe we've added 1 or 2 payment methods. Another thing what we could add, which is also requested, which is not related to the US, is international payment methods with Swift. I think that shouldn't be difficult. I mainly didn't add it because I thought it's too expensive, but some people requested it. That shouldn't be much effort. And I mean, in 2 weeks already, we had a lot of releases in the last months because of important bug fixes. And I would like to get back more or less to the schedule of 1 release per month and not much more. So I would prefer to keep it more in the end of the month, and then we have a little bit more time for researching the payment methods and everything. Implementing, when I do it, it's not really a lot of effort. I mean, it would be great when somebody else will implement it, but in the past it has not worked out well. But it's not a really difficult task. It would be a low-hanging fruit task for any developer, basically, to take this. That would be much better.
Okay, so first week of
in the
March.
worst case, I can do it in.
First week of March, then.
Yeah, for me, maybe the last February week would be also okay, but
so 26.
Maybe the 12th is a little bit early.
Ooh, okay, we'll do it. We'll do it like that then, 26th, and
26th.
hopefully that'll give us a chance to include some more payment methods and do a bit more outreach. But the moment the date is set, we can already start contacting any friends in the US and telling them to please install Zeller and to try it and so on. It's a matter of recruiting, really, because none of us here in this call right now are actually in the US. So we really have to get the word out and get people to try it. The other thing is the reward. Is everyone fine with the 20 Bisq reward for whoever participates?
Yes.
So sounds reasonable, yeah.
Okay. Beyond that, the only thing I really want to see happen is the US dollar tutorial video. That bounty is out there. It's a very juicy 200 BSQ bounty, and it's something that for someone who knows how to record video, screen caps, and do a voiceover, it won't take you more than 10 minutes. Honestly, I would do it myself, but I want someone in the US with the US payment method to do it. So any of the people currently trading on Bisq with dollars using Zeller, please go ahead and record the video. It'd be very useful.
Yeah, that would be really awesome. Regarding the reward criteria, so on the last liquidity week, we agreed that everyone who is joining will always have 1 offer available for buying and selling Bitcoin. That still sticks for US dollar as well, I guess.
In truth, what they really have to do is go to join the GitHub repository and ask for it, because most people won't even ask for compensation. I mean, if it's useful, they're going to do it. They're going to try it just because it's useful. But if you're worried about scammers trying to claim too many bounties, that is not, in my experience, going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, yeah, so actually, the next point would be to talk about actions, how we could promote the US dollar liquidity week. Yeah, of course, we could just tweet it out, but do you You mentioned one thing, Felix, to contact potential traders like the local Bitcoins guys you already talked about.
Yeah,
Yes.
feedback was not great. It's tough. I mean, the guys who are occasional traders don't want to bother with learning a new system. The guys who are professional traders don't want to bother with anonymous systems, and they're asking for KYC now on local Bitcoins. And there's a bit of resistance. It doesn't work. I've sent a few emails. The response was mostly, either I've heard about it, not interested, or oh yeah, sure, I'll look about it. I'll look at it, and you never hear back from them. So, I guess the only thing that really works is either face to face or talking to someone, really explaining it, and also being able to show them videos of how it works. That I think that's useful as well. But yeah, one by one. I don't think any type of marketing is going to work for this. You have to know the guy, or at least know him from social media. Reach out, ask him, are you still trading? Are you still using local Bitcoins? Are you using Paxful? Have you tried Bisq? Do you know we're going to do this liquidity week? Please try it out. See if it. Anyway, that's the closest you can get to it.
I think an important factor for all this, what we've seen already now, because the price is pretty bad, there is less trade going on. And yeah, I think our core group is usually they're really believers in Bitcoin. They are not selling Bitcoin below 10,000 or below 50,000. So maybe we should be a little bit flexible when we get in a time where the price is super bad or whatever, but that we can move a little bit with the price, that are with these external factors that we are I can adjust it a little bit. I don't know if it makes sense, but I could imagine when
Manfred with
the
price.
Yeah, when for instance there will be a crash and Bitcoin crashes down to $3,000 in this week, then it's probably not a good time to do it. And maybe it's just better to wait another 1 or 2 weeks until it goes up again or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, but the fees will be really low, Manfred.
Yeah,
sorry?
I was saying the fees will be really low.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's also the other thing that we had on our week, that there was so much transaction spam that the fee was extremely high, so we had to stop it also. So of course, if there are some external influences, then we have to react. Dwasi was asking how to attribute the reward. So as there is no real possibility to really check without hurting any privacy, it's just you have to talk with us on running the liquidity week, and basically we have to believe if there are no trades at all during this time, then we might not give away the reward. But
look, if there's 10 trades in that week in dollars and people ask for 20 rewards, then if people ask for 9 rewards, it's going to be very tough to say no.
Yeah, absolutely. So that shouldn't be a problem, and it wasn't a problem so far. So let me quickly check.
Yeah, how many people actually claim the reward for Euro Liquidity Week?
Actually, so really no one. So I didn't point. So I personally just didn't do it because I had my regular contribution request, and I think it was the same with anyone else. Or Manfred, I'm not sure if anyone who claimed it.
I think it was basically the normal contributors who have done their contribution request anyway.
Yeah, but sometimes I think rather than doing a liquidity week, we should do like a liquidity hour, like 1 day, 1 hour, precise time, so that everyone puts the orders at the same time, so that people who want to trade, it's like an auction, right? They know that that's the time to go because that's where. But I don't know if that's. Yeah, but it's harder if people leave the orders on for a longer time. It's easier for the order book to build up. If people just go there, turn the Bisq apps on for 1 hour and then go, I don't know. Maybe we could do both things: a liquidity hour and then after that the liquidity week.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah, so regarding marketing, as you mentioned, it will be one-on-one. So we have to reach out to all our contacts in the US and everyone who is watching the video right now or the recording. Please get in contact with us either on Slack, GitHub, here in the comments, and let's just arrange the US Dollar Liquidity Week end of February. So Felix, Manfred, is there anything else from your side you think we should discuss regarding the Liquidity Week?
What regarding the Liquidity Week, just that, you know, I can't wait until we have euros, dollars, and pounds running smoothly so that we can start going after Nigeria and India and China. But yeah, that will have to wait, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Manfred, from your side?
Nothing special. Also, I also think that the pound would be the next important market, and I think it's a very easy market, very safe and very tech-affine and good payment methods. I mean, we have already this how it's called. There's a transfer.
Faster payments. UK faster payments.
Faster payment. Yeah, I think it's in UK, and that's more or less instant, cheap, and yeah, that's basically a perfect payment method. We just, I don't know why it has not picked up really much more. Probably we need a little bit more PR and get out to the people there.
There's also a bounty out for a GBP faster payments video tutorial. I think Leo MC is going to do it, but we'll see. Maybe someone else will do it first.
I was just answering.
Interesting payment method is also TransferWise. So some people are using it, and the strange thing is that you cannot send in the same currency. You always make a currency exchange, basically. But people are doing it who don't have a euro account or whatever. They are using then their local currency to pay in euro, and we always get troubles because then the bank account are not matching and so on. But
the amounts don't match, the bank accounts don't match, the reference code doesn't work. It's always a pain. Without direct contact with the other person via chat or something, how on earth are you going to match those trades? I was looking at it today, by the way, because TransferWise does have some good options, but no, it's not going to work.
I mean, when they would provide something like a transaction ID, which is publicly visible, and the other can check it or something. I mean, this check for their account number and the reference ID is mainly to avoid this triangular scams. You're probably aware with this problem, or it's that you are basically not paying somebody else who got scammed by the Bitcoin buyer, and then you get the chargeback from the victim who doesn't know anything about Bitcoin. And when there is a way how to provide a service for this for TransferWise, then we could make an extra special case for TransferWise and deal with it. It would to implement it, but it might be, and it might open. I think it's quite global. I'm not sure if it works in the US, but besides the US, I think it works in many countries. It's created, I think, from the guys who founded Skype, because they needed it for themselves for paying international.
What I know, also I did some transfer between Europe, also Germany and the US once with TransferWise, so that worked for me without any problem.
With sending to the US or receiving from the US?
Sending to the US.
Okay. Because there could be interesting option for connecting different markets, like the US market with the European markets and so on, and getting advantages from arbitrage when there are different prices and so. And maybe there are other, I don't know if there are other payment methods like TransferWise. I think TransferWise is probably one of
Revolut. Revolut is very good. Instant payments, but again, TransferWise works from Europe to Europe, Revolut works from Europe to Europe, and some other markets. But you will not find one of these fintech companies that can connect US with Europe or Europe with China or anything with India. So, within Europe, you have SEPA. It works very well. It's picking up. Sure, if there's a lot of requests for something new, go ahead. But, right now, we really need something that works in the US, apart from Seller. or getting seller to work better and reach more people. And after that, honestly, I would focus on WeChat and Alipay, because those are huge and have no chargebacks.
Alipay we have already, and WeChat, when it's similar, it would also easy to implement. I mean, in China, I think we still have the problem that Tor, I mean, from one guy, I got it confirmed that it was working, but only after a few approaches. It was not easy, even if it seems it was a technical person. And at the moment, Tor is basically under heavy load and attack, and so that's why we had so many issues the last months, and that might be then even worse in China. And some persons told me that also with these solutions, with this pluggable transports, which basically works, that this doesn't work for a long term, because their firewall, they're using AI, and they discover after a while disconnections, and then they are blocking it, so it only works for a certain time. I'm not sure, we have to figure out. And another big thing in China is that we would need translation really well, so that the UI really supports well translations, which is quite a lot of UI effort. And to have some persons there in China for doing the marketing and promotion and everything.
Yeah,
So
no, you need someone there to do testing, give you feedback, find out what works and what doesn't, and then after all the testing, do video tutorials and all that. And then after all the testing, you know, the market is there. But first, if you need someone there, the same person who does the testing is going to be able to do the translating, is going to be able to do everything. You need someone there. You need a Bisq contributor in China. By the way, I don't think you can get to Slack very easily from there either.
Yeah, it's true. There's one question, Manfred, in the chat regarding the limit, the trade limit at the moment, as the Bitcoin price went down so steeply. Are there any plans to increase it over the next weeks?
Also, with the next release, we can adjust it again and go up when it's really. But basically, we should have a solution where we are dynamically adjusting it. That we are setting basically the limit in dollar. What we would like to have, something around $2,000 should be the trade limit per trade, and then adjust it on the current market price. Then we don't have to deal with this with every release.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, when the price will really stay quite low for until the next release, yeah, we should consider it to lower it, and especially now with the account witness, with this mechanism which is against chargeback scam. That as a new user, when you register your account newly, you're limited to 25% of the normal trade limit. So that's quite low, and with Bitcoin price below 10,000, I don't know how much it is, but it's maybe something like 500 euros. So that's really a little bit maybe too low.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. I think on my list everything is covered so far. So to quickly sum it up, so we do plan to run the US dollar liquidity week on the last week of February, so from 26th until 4th of March. And we will do some investigation on the cell payment solution. So if we can increase the number of banks that we support, and we also wanted to see if we can add any other payment option like Square Cash or whatever to increase the possible trader base for the US market. And I think that's it. And regarding marketing, we have to reach out, and everyone who is watching, who is in the US and wants to join, please contact us on any channel. We are very responsive, and we really want to get the US dollar market running. It's already picking up quite good, as also in January. So it's just a little tip that it needs, so it starts running on its own. So
yeah, I think the best marketing will come from Bitfinex anyway when they crash.
Yeah. And it's not going to be the only centralized exchange to crash very soon. If we just get 5 traders placing 2 orders each during US dollar liquidity week, I will count it as a huge success. it will prove that it can work. Just 5, 5 people. It's not that much. To bootstrap liquidity on a big centralized market, you need hundreds of traders. On Bisq, as soon as you have 10, 20 orders on the offer book, it's useful.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I think thanks everyone for watching. Thanks Felix, thanks Manfred for joining the Hangout. And see you again next week, same time. Bye.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Christoph. Bye.